Hold on to your seats, true crime fans. Because tonight's story will make your heart race, your mind spin, and your sense of truth tremble. This isn't fiction. This isn't some script dreamed up by a Hollywood screenwriter. This is real. And it happened in one of the most glamorous cities on Earth, Paris. Behind the glittering lights, the designer suits, and the marble floors of a five-star hotel, something sinister unfolded. A man of power, a man trusted to represent an entire nation, was found dead in a scene that looked too perfect, too controlled, too silent. The headline was cold, almost mechanical: South African ambassador found dead in Paris, suspected suicide. But the people who knew him, the diplomats, the journalists, the family, they all said the same thing: no, that doesn't sound like him. Because Nathi Mthethwa wasn't just another politician. He was a survivor of South Africa's most ruthless political storms. He'd faced public outrage, corruption scandals, even the ghosts of the Marikana massacre, and yet, through it all, he stood tall. Unbroken. Unapologetic. So why would a man like that, a man who clawed his way through decades of chaos, suddenly give up, alone, in a Paris hotel room? Why would he send one last message to his wife, and vanish into silence? Unless he didn't vanish by choice. Unless someone made sure his story ended before he could tell the next chapter. And that's where this mystery begins. Because when investigators arrived at the Hyatt Regency in the city's western district, something didn't add up. The 22nd floor window, supposedly sealed for safety, had been forced open with scissors left at the scene. The cameras, the all-seeing eyes of the hotel, suddenly became the most important witnesses in Europe. And behind those tapes, behind that quiet, polished facade of diplomacy, lurks a truth that could shake two governments, and expose a conspiracy so bold it could rewrite the legacy of a nation. So stay with me. Because what starts as a suicide in Paris may end as one of the most chilling political assassinations of our time. This is not just about death. It's about what power does when no one is watching. Paris, September 2025. The city of lights and shadows. Inside the towering Hyatt Regency Paris Etoile, one of South Africa's most controversial power brokers met a violent, mysterious end. Nathi Mthethwa, the nation's ambassador to France, a man who'd survived decades of political storms, corruption scandals, and public outrage, was found lifeless in the hotel courtyard. The French police called it suicide. Case closed. But to those who knew him, it made no sense. He wasn't broken. He was building something. He was focused, full of energy, talking about new projects and upcoming meetings. And then, within 24 hours, he was gone. Just like that. A silence that didn't feel peaceful, it felt staged. That night, his wife, Faisal Bathlasi, received a message. Short. Emotional. Apologetic. The kind of message you send when you're saying goodbye. But that wasn't Nathi. He didn't run from chaos, he thrived in it. And yet, hours after that cryptic text, his phone went dark. By dawn, police found his body in the courtyard below. No witnesses. No sound. No struggle. Just a man who fell, or was made to fall, from the 22nd floor. At first glance, it looked straightforward, a fall. No drugs. No signs of a fight. But then investigators entered room 2208. And everything changed. The window, one designed to open just a few inches, had been forced open. The safety lock snapped. And next to it, a pair of scissors. Carefully placed. Not dropped. Positioned. As if someone wanted them to be seen. What kind of man forces open a sealed window with scissors to end his own life? Or better yet, who made it look that way? To understand this night, you must understand the man. Nathi Mthethwa wasn't just a diplomat. He was a survivor of South Africa's roughest political trenches. A loyal ally of Jacob Zuma. A man haunted by the Marikana massacre, when police under his watch opened fire on miners. And later, accused of shielding allies and manipulating investigations. His appointment to Paris wasn't just a promotion, it was a safe house. A golden exile far from the courtroom chaos back home. But you can't outrun the ghosts of corruption. They travel with you, even to Paris. Officially, it was suicide. Unofficially, nobody bought it. His wife said it best. He wasn't a man giving up, he was a man preparing for a fight. And maybe that fight got too close. Just 2 weeks before his death, Mthethwa was named again, this time accused of meddling in a criminal probe. If proven, he could lose everything: his immunity, his career, his freedom. So when that strange message came, a goodbye that didn't sound like him, many wondered, was he saying farewell, or was someone forcing him to? Because in the world of power, betrayal, and secrets, the line between falling and being pushed is razor thin. And this is where the story stops being tragedy and becomes thriller. Because hidden behind the glass walls of the Hyatt Regency Paris Etoile were over 250 CCTV cameras. Every hallway, every elevator, every silent second. Watching, recording, waiting. Within days of the ambassador's fall, Pretoria made an extraordinary move, dispatching 5 elite investigators from the South African Police Service to Paris. Not diplomats, not couriers, detectives. Their mission: to find out what really happened in room 2208. You don't send your top cops across continents for a suicide. At first, the French investigators were confident. Their timeline was airtight. No one entered. No one left. But the South African task force, men trained to see what others miss, noticed the cracks. Moments where hallway footage cut to static. A brief shadow slipping between 2 cameras. A flicker near the service elevator, just minutes before Mthethwa's keycard registered its final use. The CCTV had stopped being evidence. It had become the battlefield for truth. And somewhere in those corrupted frames lay either the truth or the perfect illusion of it. Back home, South Africa was on fire with speculation. Half the country swore it was a hit, a man silenced for knowing too much. The rest believed he'd finally been crushed by his own guilt. But within the ANC's secret corridors, whispers grew colder. Because Mthethwa wasn't just another official, he was a keeper of history. And history can kill. One former intelligence officer put it bluntly: people like Mthethwa don't fall. They're pushed. Then they're mourned. When SAPS requested the full CCTV files, the French quietly replied, some footage is corrupted. Several crucial hours gone. The exact window between his last phone call and the discovery of his body vanished. Coincidence? Or cleanup? French officials blamed a technical issue. But in 2025, a world of endless backups and cloud servers, that excuse sounded like something out of an old spy film. Weeks passed. The French stood by their report. Pretoria stayed silent. And in that silence, a rumor was born. A South African investigator, off record, allegedly viewed a fragment of the missing footage. A single, haunting frame, showing a figure walking toward room 2208, then disappearing before the timestamp jumped forward. If that's true, it changes everything. Because it means someone else was there. Someone we still don't know. Today, room 2208 remains sealed. The French call it standard procedure. The South Africans call it unfinished business. And the rest of the world? We're left with a question that refuses to die. Was Nathi Mthethwa crushed by the weight of his own past, or silenced because of it? Until those lost CCTV frames are made public, the truth will remain locked in that Paris hotel, behind a forced window, a missing timeline, and one final, chilling message to his wife. Whatever happens, remember, not everything is as it seems. Because in this story, there are no coincidences, only cover-ups, and every silence has a sound.